Hi, I'm Alan Gassman, and I want to talk about the EstateView software Monte Carlo calculator. So I go to the EstateView website and I click on Monte Carlo. Now, I wish that took me to Europe to Monte Carlo, but it does something different. It takes me to a calculator. And on this calculator, I can first put in the value of the client's portfolio. Let's say it's $2 million. And I can put in the percentage of the portfolio consisting of bonds, the percentage of the portfolio consisting of equities, and the number of years that the portfolio will run. And let's just say it'll go for 36 for, sorry, 36 years. So now I click on see results. What this tells me across the top is that I have a $2 million portfolio. It's 40% bonds, 60% equities. It's going to be invested for 36 years. And the average rate of return going back many years for this type of portfolio, when you randomly select the rate of return 10,000 times from the years from approximately 1935 to present, half of these portfolios will produce more than 8.78% as a rate of return. That's before costs and before taxes. And half of these portfolios will have a rate of return of below 8.78%. 25% of these portfolios will have a rate of return of less than 7.68%, and 10% of these portfolios will perform at 6.7% or less. The best case scenario in the 75th percentile, 9.88%, at the 90th percentile, 10.86%. Now, you may go back and say, what is the worst 1% rate of return that the worst 1% of individuals tested would have received? I click down here at 1%, and it shows me a 5.12% generally worst case scenario. Now, I can click on duplicate, and when I click on duplicate, it shows me a second Monte Carlo scenario, and it's exactly the same as the first Monte Carlo scenario, as you can see. But I might want to change just one thing. Oh, and by the way, the numbers are a tiny bit different, and that's just because when you roll the dice 10,000 times, the numbers come out a little bit different every time you roll the dice. So, but I want to know, as you can see, the numbers are very similar, but what if this client wants 70% equities and 30% bonds? So I've changed the bonds to 30%, the equities to 70%, and now you see that the worst case scenario actually goes up by a little bit, and the best case scenario actually goes up by a little bit, because based upon statistical history, the more equities you have, the higher the rate of return. So the client may say, that's interesting. Show me historical Monte Carlo data on 80% equities, 20% bonds. So now I can show you that, and I can show you that the rate of return is even higher. But the worst 1% situation would be a 4.88% rate of return. So when I run my numbers for various scenarios, maybe I should run them at 7.14% and also at 12.59% to show what may occur here. Now, at the bottom, for each of these scenarios, I have a spreadsheet, and I can go with every year or every other year or every third year. And this shows me that if I invest $2 million today in this 80-20 portfolio, 10% of the portfolios doing this will have a value of under 24 million, and 10% will have a value of over 143 million. So the difference can be phenomenal. But the worst case scenario, the bottom 1%, is 11 million. So this is the Monte Carlo simulator, and I hope that it is of use to you. We will be adding other features in the future, including the ability to have a stream of payments going into the portfolio and a stream of payments coming out. By the way, you can export the spreadsheet I just showed you to Excel. You just click on that green button, and then you have the exported spreadsheet that you can customize in any way you like. So thank you for letting me share the Monte Carlo calculator with you. I know I would rather be meeting with you in Monte Carlo the next time you're there. If you want to have your jet airplane come get me, I will be glad to join you, and we can drink some French wine and not pay taxes while we're there. Have a great day, and thank you for your use of EstateView software.